Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of Geek Mail on my That's Just Joe channel. What's going on there? There was a YouTube channel for it and everything. Having a few technical difficulties with the live stream going to that YouTube channel, so I thought, the hell with it. Why don't we do the first episode on here? Obviously, I announced at 200 subs I would be doing a live show weekly, and this is the first episode. So let's see how it goes, and hopefully we can keep up the momentum and everything. Anyway, we have lots of geek news to get on with, some geek mail. There's been a lot announced recently. We haven't even hit the weekend, and we're sure going to get lots of trailers at the Super Bowl Sunday. The Flash trailer. We've already had a Fast X trailer, but loads of trailers coming out. I'm very excited about it. So, to start off straight away with the first bit of news that broke last night, late last night for me, at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Is Christian Bale returning to the DC universe? Is he coming back? Is he? Well, according to Grace Randolph, that is a possibility. Now, Grace posted this tweet recently, basically hinting that a classic Batman from a previous version of the franchise will be appearing at the end of the Flash movie and possibly as the new DCU Batman. Now, this is a bit confusing for a lot of reasons. James Gunn, obviously, in his announcement, said that the introduction of the DCU's Batman would be in The Brave and the Bold, which we know is going to have Robin in it, and it's very exciting, and it's going to be his son. Now, it does make sense in a way with The Brave and Bold, because Batman's going to be a dad. So if he's a bit older, would make sense, and that past relationship with Talia kind of lines up with The Dark Knight Rises, but we all know the fate of Talia al Ghul at the end of The Dark Knight Rises. Sorry, I've had a bit of fizz and I'm dying from it. But this Grace Randolph tweet, so what does it say? Unfortunately, I don't have my glasses with me, so this is a good start, isn't it? Basically, what she said was, I hear that it's going to be a former Batman who cameos at the end of The Flash and could potentially stick around as the new permanent DCU Batman, Damian's dad. Pattinson is still solo. That's great news. Pattinson will still be part of the Elseworlds. I know who it is, but it would be uncool to reveal the whole thing, and uncool it would be indeed. Now, there's a few things that don't line up with this bit of breaking news. Is that Christian Bale has been very vocal that he would not return to the role of Bruce Wayne / Batman unless Christopher Nolan was behind the camera. Christopher Nolan could be the director of The Brave and the Bold, but I don't see Christian Bale returning to the world of DC as the main form Batman for that universe. If I can believe that Barry somehow goes into another multiverse, another dimension at the end of the Flash film, and kind of explains that he can travel across different multiverses now and be the hero they all need. So it makes sense in that sort of clarification. But could it be Kilmer or Clooney? I mean, that's the other question. It could easily be Kilmer or Clooney. I'd kind of rule out Kilmer because of his medical condition currently, but also he was just in Top Gun, and there's ways to get around that with AI voice and all that. Clooney has been definite with how much he hated being in the film, and that it possibly almost ruined his career. Obviously, we know it hasn't. He did great in Ocean's 11 and lots of other projects, and he's currently filming a film with Brad Pitt at the moment in New York. So, I mean, it could be one of these three. I see it possibly being Bale, but also we have to kind of set our expectations down a little bit, because Grace Randolph, even though she gets good scoops and everything, she has been wrong before. So this could... And also, this is just being discussed at Warner Brothers. Nothing's set in stone. Nothing's signed contract-wise. So I think we have to wait and see. But talking about The Flash, let's get into the second bit of news, is today, literally about an hour or two ago, the first official poster for the Flash movie has been released. And I have to say, it got me excited. It got me very, very, very excited indeed. Here's the poster for you to see. Now, obviously, as you know, I am a huge fan of Michael Keaton's Batman. I think he's one of the best Batmans out there. He's my Batman, my first live-action Batman. And obviously, he will be returning in this film as a one-off. Originally, he was going to be the newly established Bruce Wayne / Batman of the DC EU, but now James Gunn and Peter Safran are taking it in a different direction. I reacted to this poster on my channel. You can go check out that video right now. But in terms of the poster itself, it's more of an announcement poster. It's just basically saying, hey, this is coming, and also Super Bowl Sunday, first trailer. This film has been in development hell since about 2016-17. It has had rewrite after rewrite, different writers, different directors, different characters going in the film. And to be honest, I'm very happy they settled on Andy Muschietti. Andy Muschietti is a fantastic director. If you've not seen It Chapter 1, Chapter 2, fantastic films. I've not had a chance to see Mama. Is it called Mama? But he's basically a horror director, and this is going to be his first non-horror project. And I'm really looking forward to him bringing those sort of elements into this movie, because at the end of the day, the multiverse could be a terrifying factor, even for Barry. You know, traveling to a different multiverse or accidentally changing a timeline can be horrifying, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Muschietti does with the film. Now, obviously, there's a lot of controversy around Ezra Miller themselves, and I have to say, it does kind of hold me back being excited about the film. The main reason is because Michael Keaton is Batman in it. Hell, even Ben Affleck is returning for one final time as Batman in this film, and potentially directing a DC project in the future. But this is his last time as Batman, and it's the last time we're going to see Keaton as Batman, I think, anyway. I don't think Keaton is going to be brought back into the main fold since the takeover from Gunn and Safran and everything. I think that was the original idea before they came on board. But I'm excited for this film, not for the Flash storyline, but for the Batman storyline. This is going to be Batman No Way Home. There is no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. And I think what they're going to do, because in the past, people have been saying that the controversy around Ezra Miller, of what they've done and everything, is going to affect the film. And also, like, general audiences don't know much about this news. But to be honest, this news has got worse and worse and worse, and more charges have happened, that it's becoming pretty public, and everybody know who Ezra Miller is, not just for being the Flash, but being a criminal, basically. And that's kind of one of the things I'm struggling with about going to see this film, is that Ezra Miller is the Flash at the end of the day. They are in this film, and it's going to be sort of hard to watch, knowing after they finish filming this, and I know they've done pickups since and everything, but after finishing filming the main bulk of the film, it's going to be a hard watch, I think, anyway. But that was our first look at the Flash poster, and I love the heading "Worlds Collide." It's so simple to say, oh, you wait till you see this film. And to be honest, the hype from No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness and everything, I think is going to prepare the general audience for what they're going to see. I mean, I'm loving the Batwing hanging down there, and we've obviously seen toy leaks of that not too long ago. I'll try and make this image a little bit bigger, so you can just see the costume. Now, a lot of people have said they're not a fan of the costume, but to be honest, I like it. I like this costume. I don't know what the hate is about it. I loved the robust version we saw in both Justice Leagues. I did like that, but this is actually a suit. And this isn't a spoiler because this is in the comics. There's actually a prologue comic, a series of prologue comics you could buy called The Flash, the Fastest Man Alive. And Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne / Batman makes this costume for him. And it comes out of the ring. He's got a flash ring and everything. I'm excited. I am excited for the film. But generally, just for the Batman element. And I think that is a bit cheaty of me. But anyway, what do you think? Are you excited for the Flash film? Are you excited to see Michael Keaton return as Batman, Ben Affleck to return as Batman, and could you potentially see more Batmen in this film? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. Let's get on to the next topic. And this, to be honest, I still haven't quite processed. I'm still shocked by this news because I didn't see it coming. But Spider-Man Noir who we know better as Nicolas Cage in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Fantastic film, one of my favourite Spider-Man films. They are making a live-action series at Amazon with the creative minds of Lord and Miller behind the scene. Now, this is no confirmation Nicolas Cage is playing this character, and it's not confirmation that it's Peter Parker, and it's been pretty much confirmed by Variety, who broke this news, that that Peter Parker will not be the Spider-Man of this film. And I think it's interesting. We're getting Spider-Verse films because it's been explained in No Way Home there could be different Spider-Man in different universes. You can easily sell to an audience, a general audience, that Spider-Man Noir is in their own universe and everything. It doesn't have to connect to the MCU films. Anyway, Oren Uziel, I hope I pronounced that right, will serve as writer and executive producer on the Spider-Man Noir show. Uziel developed the show along with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse producers Phil Lord and Christopher Miller and former Sony boss Amy Pascal. The Fabulous Three, I call them, because their success with No Way Home, Amy Pascal's involvement with No Way Home, but her involvement with Lord and Miller with the Spider-Verse films has been a huge success. And to be honest, I did not expect that Spider-Verse film to be as good as it was, and I'm very much looking forward to the continuation of that series. But this being a live-action Spider-Man Noir series has me interested. It really does. And Lord and Miller, I mean, they're fantastic. They're probably the best creatives, the duo creatives in the business right now. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what other projects they do. They've also done, they've just done a film that's just come out. I've forgotten the name of it already. I've forgotten the name, but it's loads of talking dogs, and it's just their sort of humour and everything I enjoy. The Lego movie they were behind as well, and the Lego Batman movie I believe they were behind. But I think a lot of people are forgetting is that their names sell projects when they're not even the main directors of the film. Into the Spider-Verse was directed by two completely different people, but they are the creative influence on the project, and I think they're the ones that get stuff sold at the end of the day. I think they're the ones that pitch the idea, and then the studios go, yeah, that sounds good. Obviously, it didn't work out for Solo, a Star Wars story, which I still want to see that cut, but I don't think we'll be seeing that cut anytime soon. But yeah, this is exciting news. Spider-Man Noir. I'm interested, and at the moment, I can't see a release date sort of they're aiming for. Obviously, they need to get the Spider-Verse stuff out of the way and everything. But yeah, look forward to Spider-Man Noir. Anyway, let's get on to Strays. That's right, Charlotte Nixon. It is Strays. It's not my sort of humour, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Should be fine. Now, some more news. Some more breaking news. We've got even more breaking news. So James Gunn, obviously, is the co-CEO of DC Studios now. He is running the show, if you like, or running the shows and the films. And there has been a hashtag going about, and God, we've had so many hashtags to do with this Snyderverse stuff. But this one is sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. And I did a video recently talking about the insanity of not selling it to Netflix, because again, I don't know if that's even a possibility. I mean, if Sony can give Amazon a Spider-Man show, DC could give Netflix the Snyderverse films. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I just don't think it's going to happen, because I think Gunn and Safran really want to concentrate on their DC universe, and they're very small Elseworlds projects, and I think they wouldn't go for this. And also, Gunn has confirmed this in a recent tweet when a Twitter user basically replied to them. They just James Gunn had just posted a picture of Swamp Thing, a new Swamp Thing comic coming out, teasing it. And someone put the hashtag sell the Snyderverse to Netflix, and James Gunn had this to say. So let's get that up. I have to say, this has got to be the wackiest hashtag ever, since 1, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff, and 2, Zack hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing, and yes, we too have talked. In terms of what Gunn and Zack talked about, it was basically Zack calling Gunn just to congratulate him on the DC universe, and he's a big fan that there's going to be a proper connected universe, and it's not going to be all over the place like it has for the past many years, 10 years now, since 2013, Man of Steel, I guess you count as the DCEU. But Gunn is basically putting his foot down and saying, look, this hashtag, this whole movement thing, it's not going to work. I mean, it worked for Snyder Cut, but I do believe they're not going to reboot the Snyderverse. I think Zack Snyder really wants to concentrate on their own projects. And Rebel Moon looks fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that. And I loved Army of the Dead. I thought Army of the Dead was a lot of fun. I wanted to see more of that universe, but hey, not everything has to be a cinematic universe. I think that's really important to kind of consider when it comes to what Zack Snyder does, and so on. So yeah, Snyderverse is not going to Netflix, I think. And as I said in my video, I will eat a bunch of egg yolks without being fried or anything. Raw egg yolk, raw eggs. I will eat a mixture of raw eggs, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know how much could kill you. But I will do that if they go, Snyderverse is coming to Netflix. New projects from the Snyderverse are coming to Netflix anyway. Anyway, let's stop talking about me eating eggs. But yeah, that's the big news in terms of that. We got a bit of Indiana Jones 5 news. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of Indiana Jones. I'm not the biggest fan of Indiana Jones, and that's fine. I think it's fine. I don't even remember watching the films. The one I remember the most, and it's kind of embarrassing because it's considered the worst, is the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Because I remember going to see it with my dad. He's a big Indiana Jones fan. And it was sort of my first exposure to Indiana Jones as a teenager. I hadn't really watched the originals when I was a teenager. When I was much younger, I did. But Indiana Jones just didn't kind of grab me. Well, the most recent trailer we got did grab me. And I'm very excited to see James Mangold directing this. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is sort of writing it and also starring it. Is it Phoebe Waller-Bridge? Is that a singer? I need to check now because I always think I'm wrong. No. It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge, yeah. So big news for Indiana Jones. And I was quite shocked by this. Is it had a massive budget and is one of the most expensive films that have been made to date. It's amongst a list that there's films that have had a higher budget, but it's amongst that list, which is crazy. So, coming from comic book, is it comic book resources? Comic book CBR.com. Sorry, apologies. I should have researched it before. But according to Forbes, Disney revealed that it sanctioned nearly $300 million for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. To be precise, $294.7 million to be exact, making it by far the most expensive film of the Indiana Jones series and even one of the most expensive films of all time. The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, the one I remember, was released in 2008 and had a budget of $185 million. However, it ranked nearly $800 million at the box office. It's kind of crazy to me that they didn't get onto a sequel quick, considering it nearly made $1 billion at the box office, even though it was not well received. But when you think of it, it's like, wow, they should have been jumping on that Indiana Jones train. And here we are with the Dial of Destiny. And I have to say, again, the trailer looks fantastic. But this being one of the most expensive films made, I mean, will it be worth it? That's the question. I mean, we saw some of the CGI in that trailer and it did not look nice. You know, Harrison Ford's head plastered on a stunt guy on a horse and everything. It didn't look great. But I have to say, it gave me goosebumps, that trailer. I'm very excited to see Fleabag star Phoebe Waller-Bridge in it. Mads Mikkelsen is the villain. And Mads Mikkelsen always plays a great villain. And Antonio Banderas will be playing a part in the film as well. Again, I don't know much about the Indiana Jones mythology, but Harrison Ford has said it's his last one. He said in an interview recently, it's his last one and he's done. Money talks. And money talks for this one. I don't think Harrison Ford wanted to do one after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That was considered the end of the Indiana Jones franchise because he got married and he gave up. And then his, was it his godson? Was going to be, or his nephew or something like that, was going to be the next Indiana Jones, but off screen, which was obviously Shia LaBeouf, and that didn't quite work out that. But but yeah, like I'm excited for it anyway. I'm really excited for Indiana Jones, but I'm really surprised how much it cost to make. That is quite a lot of money when you think of it. That is a lot of money. Right, let's go into the next subject. We've got quite a few to get through. I think we'll be finishing this show by 8 p.m. GMT here. But I think it's important to talk about this. This was talked about quite a while ago. Actually, no, this was revealed quite a while ago. Sorry, let me just get my topic picks. That's what I call it in here. This is the first show, by the way, so you have to forgive me for not... I am prepared, but just not being ready with every single thing. Okay, there we go. It's all working. We still live? We're still live. That's good. Anyway. Oh, dear. I'm trying to keep everything on screen. Dominic Throne, who obviously plays Riri Williams in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, one of the best parts of the film, in my personal opinion, actually auditioned for Shuri back when they were auditioning for the first Black Panther film. And a video was released online recently and from the Wakanda Forever Disney Plus behind the scenes special of Chadwick Boseman and sorry, and Dominic Throne. Sorry, I was going to say Riri Williams, but that's not her actual name. But here's a screenshot. I won't play the video in case of copyright. But she was auditioning for Shuri. And to be honest, from that little clip, I could see her as Shuri easily. But I do think Letitia Wright was, the best pick for that role at the time. And I'm just really glad Marvel just saw something in Dominique and just went, yeah, let's get her back. Let's get her back and audition her for this role. She's fantastic in Wakanda Forever, but I had to say it was really sad seeing Chadwick Boseman again, and especially with the stand up to cancer shirt on and everything, because as we know, he had been fighting it for a while, even during the shooting of Black Panther and everything. And it's just, but it's also nice to see Black Panther, Mr. Chadwick Boseman, with the future of that franchise and everything. It was very bittersweet. But I have to say, I'm really looking forward to Ironheart, which Riri Williams will be the star of that, playing her character, Dominic Throne playing that character. I'm really looking forward to that show. I'm very interested. And it's driving me crazy about Marvel recently, because I still feel like we haven't had a lot of news concerning the upcoming shows, like Secret Invasion. I feel like we've hardly heard anything. I'm really surprised we got a trailer, to be honest, not too long ago. And that's one series I'm really looking forward to. It looks quite, raw, and it looks like Captain America Winter Soldier, sort of Civil War vibes and everything. So I'm very much looking forward to that and seeing who stars on that and everything. But Armor Wars, which was going to be a Disney Plus show but is now a film, I'm very interested to see why they did that. There's not been really any confirmation, honest confirmation why they did that. I think it might have been a budget thing. Like, this is going to be too expensive to make as a Disney Plus show. I think if we make it as one of the mainline phase films, we can do it. But yeah, no, it's always interesting. It is. Anyway, our next piece of news: Star Trek 4. God, when did the last Star Trek come out? I do not remember. Star Trek 4 is going to be... I don't know. Because Star Trek 4 is going to be an interesting one, because Matt Shakman, who obviously directed WandaVision and is due to direct the Fantastic Four film, which we haven't heard much more about, is actually directing this still, supposedly, or has an involvement in it. But he's actually said in a recent interview with Collider, and I'll just get this interview with Collider up right now. I love it when I have a internet protection thing and it categorizes it as categorizes it as an ad blocker. That's great, isn't it? For God's sake. There we go. I've sorted it out. See, this is what I mean. I need to be more prepared. But anyway, so Matt Shakman, director of WandaVision, due to be director of Fantastic Four, is saying that Star Trek 4 is still happening. And he recently said in an interview with Collider, saying, I think what they're still working on is a version of what I have been working on for the time that I was involved. So yeah, it's sort of like he's prematurely announced that they're still doing Star Trek 4, even though we've heard is not happening. Is it still happening with Matt? Sorry, I need to go through this. So he was originally tapped to direct. It was prematurely announced last year. God, just right. Is it still happening with him? I can't read and talk at the same time. This is the problem. But anyway, Matt Shackman has been pretty honest and said, I think they're still doing the same version I was doing. So who knows? We'll probably hear some news soon concerning that. And when he says that same version, he's talking about Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto and all that returning, because they are contracted. They're contracted to make a certain amount of films. I think they're contracted 4 or 5 films. So it makes sense if they came back for this 4th one. Beyond didn't do as well critically. I don't know about box office numbers, but I didn't see it. And I loved Into Darkness. I loved J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies. I thought they were really fun. Got me into the world of Star Trek. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. There's also been some news about Kevin Feige in the Marvel Universe nearly being fired in 2015. But good old Bob Iger, who is the returning CEO of Disney, actually stopped this happening. And it's really interesting. It's like, where would we be if he was fired? Anyway, this is coming from the Direct. I'm reading this from. But he recently did an interview, Bob Iger, that is, that Kevin Feige was almost fired from Marvel Studios, and this was with CNBC. And he said that that former Marvel Entertainment CEO Ike Perlmutter was near firing Feige before Iger stepped in to prevent it from happening. This is what Iger had to say. In 2015, he was intent on firing Kevin Feige, who was running Marvel Studios, or the movie making at the time, and I thought that was a mistake and stepped in to prevent that from happening. I think Kevin is an incredibly talented executive. The Marvel track record speaks for itself, and so I moved the movie making operation of Marvel out from under Ike into the movie studio. That's really interesting, that. Iger noted you'd have to ask Ike if this created any ill will towards Feige and the Disney CEO, but remarked that Perlmutter was not happy about that, and that unhappiness still exists today. So Iger said, well, you had to ask Ike about that. But let's put it this way. He was not happy about that, and I think that unhappiness exists today. And that the link is between that and Nelson and his relationship. I think that's something that you can speculate about. I won't. So yeah, really interesting. There was a few reasons, because obviously these bloody execs and businessmen think they could just run films and franchises and everything. They can't. We've been proven to before. It's been proved that that's not possible all the time. There are definitely execs out there who are creatives and everything, like James Gunn being the co-CEO of DC Studios, Kevin Feige, who is overall a creative person but also a businessman. What I love about Bob Iger is that he cares about the creatives being at the top, because what it does, it inspires the people working for them. And I think that's really important when it comes to filmmaking, TV, all this sort of stuff, video games, everything. You can't just have someone that's in it for the money. You have to have someone that is in it for the money but wants to be creative, giving audiences what they want. I think that's really important. So I'm really surprised by this, because they were threatened. They were threatened by Feige. At the end of the day, he was getting all the glory. He was getting the Marvel trajectory right. Basically, this is post-Avengers 2012. It started to fall a little bit, the Marvel films and everything. Thor: The Dark World. I wouldn't say Winter Soldier was bad or anything, but it wasn't doing as well. Iron Man 3. The Marvel films, to me especially, felt like they were just dipping a little bit. And then they did another Avengers, and it was just like, oh, we got this. It's just the same thing again. But what they managed to do is pick themselves up, learn from it. And that's what Feige did. Other studios, like Warner Brothers, when Zack Snyder's Justice League films were going out, would just do the same thing. They would just do the same thing constantly, because they're like, oh, okay, that format works. And it doesn't. You have to evolve. And Marvel has proven that, luckily. I think one of the exciting things about having Feige still at the top of Marvel is that in this interview, by the way, it's basically putting these head execs of these franchises and everything in Disney. They are at the top now. But that means if something goes wrong with one of their projects in terms of box office release and everything, they get the fingers pointed at them. And they're taking that risk. And I actually appreciate that Feige and other CEOs and exec producers have gone, okay, yeah, sure, we'll take the fall if it goes wrong. So they really have to prove it now. So yeah, I was very, very, very shocked by that. And obviously we've had some fantastic Marvel projects recently. So I'm glad Feige isn't gone. I'm very happy Feige isn't gone. He's still around. He's still kicking and making some fantastic projects. Talking of the Marvel Universe, and this is I say it's obvious, this whole thing, but Patrick Stewart, who you all know as Professor X in the X-Men films and Logan, and recently appeared in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which I wasn't the biggest fan of, I have to admit, but it did put a smile on my face seeing him again in this part, in the yellow chair, like the animated series. This monster, by the way, not alcohol. But he has recently spoken about his status in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Will he be returning? And he actually did an interview recently, and with comicbook.com's Jamie Lovett. They were talking about Star Trek Picard, and all that Stewart had to say was... Why can't I get these quotes up, man? I need to... Oh yeah, there we go. I've been told to stand by, and I know nothing more than that. Honest. So that's it. So they told him to be on standby in case we potentially need you. Now, is this for the X-Men reboot? Is this... No. I know exactly what it's for. And it's for a little film called Deadpool 3. Or, as Hugh Jackman likes to call it, Wolverine and Deadpool. I think Patrick Stewart is going to turn up as Professor X in Deadpool 3. I'm very excited about Deadpool 3 for quite a few reasons. One is Deadpool. I wasn't a big fan of the second one, to be honest, and I thought this might be the last one, to be honest, because it being set outside the Marvel Cinematic Universe and not being able to be really blunt with those jokes about that universe and break the fourth wall too much, felt like it was being held back. But now Kevin Feige, it just feels like he's gone, yeah, get Hugh Jackman. Yeah, you can do this. And I'm hearing a lot of rumours of what it's about and how they play into the MCU, and it's great. It sounds fantastic. So I think Patrick Stewart, yes, established actor Patrick Stewart. No, Patrick Stewart will be in Deadpool 3 as a cameo, as a main part. I don't know. Obviously, before Multiverse of Madness, his character was killed in Logan. Probably one of the most depressing scenes in comic book movies ever. I remember being shocked when that happened, and then obviously he got his neck snapped by Wanda, and that was a bit less shocking, considering he was a variant. But yeah, I would love to see Patrick Stewart come back as Professor X as many times as he wants. I'm absolutely fine with that. Okay, so a few more bits of news we need to go through. This is a bit lighter, this one. I kind of like this, the sound of this. This little show that's coming to Disney Plus very, very soon in spring of 2023. And it's a little show called Young Jedi Adventures, Star Wars. Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. Now, what this basically is, it's a show set in the era of the High Republic. I keep hearing about this bloody High Republic and not knowing a thing about it. I don't know what the High Republic is. I need to read into it. I need to be a better Star Wars fan. But I know it's before, it's like years and years before The Phantom Menace, basically. So it's before the prequels and everything. But anyway, Star Wars announced this yesterday. They released this lovely image of, look at Yoda, man. Or a Yoda. I think it is Yoda, to be honest. Because Yoda existed before. Yeah, he was very old. But he's with these group of kids and everything. And basically, it's the first full-length animated Star Wars series created for preschoolers early grade schoolers, and their families. These original stories will follow younglings as they are swept off into adventures and start their journeys on the path to becoming Jedi Knights, learning valuable skills for our galaxy and the galaxy far, far away. The Jedi in training will tackle topics of compassion, self-discipline, teamwork, patience, and friendship. The new series will be a part of the era known as the High Republic, set centuries before the events of Star Wars The Phantom Menace, and currently being explored in the New York Times best-selling series of books and comics for all ages, Star Wars The High Republic. Now, obviously, it's like, why am I reporting this? Like, this is a kids' show. I think it's really important to talk about this because Star Wars can be dark. It can be quite depressing, to be honest. It really can. So I'm quite excited to see a preschooler's version of Jedi training and all that. A little show like that. See, I have a nephew and a niece and another nephew, but he doesn't know what television is really yet. But they're not really allowed to watch, Star Wars, Batman, even the light-hearted Batmans, because it's too serious sometimes. It could be too dark sometimes. And they watch cartoon versions of stuff. So for Star Wars, which again can be quite violent and dark and everything and scary, I think that's the one thing people forget. Star Wars can be scary in terms of the monsters and the villains and everything. I think it's a cool idea. And my nephew and niece would be able to watch this show and know about Star Wars before they get onto the main films. So I'm all on board with that. I really am. Okay, 2 more subjects to go on to before we go. Basically, this has been the first show. It's not been rushed, but it's just like, wow, there's been quite a bit of news to get through. I'm hoping on the next show we have a special guest who I won't say right now because it's not confirmed, but hopefully we're getting someone on the show so I can bounce off them. I do have to admit I work better when I bounce off someone. I'm not gonna lie. Boing boing. Anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I obviously again did a video for this. Lots of reviews coming through the fold. Very mixed, I'd say. But even mixed can be positive about one part of it, and that is Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. Everyone just saying he is the next big bad. He is amazing in this film. He steals the scenes and everything. Very excited. But also Paul Rudd. People have been commenting on Paul Rudd's performance, saying this is his best performance as Ant-Man. So there's lots to look forward to. Basically, there's a lot to look forward to with this film. And to be honest, I haven't been that excited about it. I can't lie. I can't lie. But the news about Jonathan Majors being quite an integral part to the film and everything is quite exciting to me. Sorry, I'm just turning this up so you can actually see me. But anyway, I've got a great... sorry, not me. I didn't do this. Rotten Tomatoes did a fantastic breakdown of the social media reactions to the world premiere of Ant-Man 3. It's messy, but everyone loves Jonathan Majors. That's the headline. But what it does, it brilliantly breaks down elements the general audience and people who haven't seen it yet would be asking. And here's some of the reviews you can look at. Hold on. Press that button. Press that. There we go. Look at that. It's so professional. Is Quantumania another great MCU installment? So let's look through some of the reviews for each section. Ant-Man 3 is a lot of fun with lots going on. I'd loved seeing Scott and Cassie's relationship and the quantum realm. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was good. Not everything lands, but it's funny, innovative, and a good time. An enjoyable, bizarro ride into the quantum realm. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania kicks off Marvel's Phase 5 with a vivid but messy spectacle. The overall film is sadly just okay. So yeah, again, there's a bit of happiness there. How does it compare to other Marvel films? Ooh. Oh, you don't want to do that, do you? Are we really comparing to other Marvel films? Come on. Learn better. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is by far Marvel's weirdest, zaniest movie to date. Quantumania is definitely Marvel's weirdest movie yet. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the best of the trilogy. Higher stakes, dangers, and repercussions. It's also got one of the best MCU villains. This was my initial concern with this film. It does look dark. It looks really dark, really serious compared to the other two. I wasn't a big fan of the second one, to be honest. The first one I absolutely loved. And again, I'll say it again. The best Ant-Man film is Avengers Endgame. Paul Rudd in that is fantastic. I can't believe how important Ant-Man is in that film. It is brilliant. And when he sees his daughter, absolutely soul-crushing. It really is. Anyway, let's carry on with the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. Is it reminiscent of anything else in particular? We know this. We know what it is. Read every single one. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. Star Wars, Star Wars. There's one that says Rick and Morty, which... not great news at the moment. So yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is like Marvel meets Star Wars, and I'm here for it. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania gives some heavy Star Wars vibes. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is as close as Marvel's gotten to Star Wars movies, with little bits of Rick and Morty feel. The film at times feels more like a Star Wars film rather than a Marvel movie. That's just insane. And I think it's going to be the whole Kang army and everything. That's what's going to be the main sort of Star Wars pull. How are the visual effects? This is the key question. The CGI was stunning. The quantum realm is seriously beautiful. The effects are superb. It overwhelmed me sometimes. The volume and CGI characters was a heavy combo for some parts. And when they say the volume, do they mean the thing from The Mandalorian? The big screen? So they must have used that a lot. Because this was shot during, the height of COVID and everything. And remember, we're still technically in a pandemic. What about the script? Creative, irresistibly energetic, engaging, fast-paced storytelling with humour and heart. It's funny reading these because I'm hearing the script is fantastic and everything, but that's why I'm kind of shocked that people are saying, it's not the most memorable Marvel film, but they're saying the script is amazing. Like, it's a really good script. I don't know if it's a case from, from page to screen sort of thing, if we was reading the script better than what's interpreted on screen, or I'm not quite wise. Wise? I'm not wise. But one review says the story was a bit underwhelming. The humour was good. I'm looking forward to humour. I mean, that's the thing. I do go to Marvel films to have a good time and to have a laugh. I know going into a DC film, it's not always going to be the case, but that might change now with James Gunn at the helm. Does it feel substantial? I think this is a problem. Yeah, this is a problem, actually. I only read halfway through this article. I think it means substantial to the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, in a way it is, but I think the problem with Marvel, and I think that what DC are trying to do is, even though it has a bigger story at play, is not make everything like completely connected. It has to stand on its own, and Gunn has said that recently with the DC films, saying all the directors and writers involved must be given freedom, basically, I'm paraphrasing, must be given freedom to bring their creative vision to these characters while still taking place in the same universe. And I think that's something Marvel needs to do, and they have with Werewolf by Night. Like, that was incredible. It was a short film, and it was different from any Marvel film you've seen, but it was still sort of set in the cinematic universe. And, it might be a game changer in the future. Like, it might impact the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But does it feel substantial? Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has way too much going on. It's tough to connect emotionally to any of it. Pay close attention to everything Kang says. This is just the beginning. While the external stakes are clear and weighty, emotional drive felt slight and levity even lighter. How is Jonathan Majors? Rules. Completely rules. Absolutely terrifying, which I'm really glad to hear. Jonathan Majors was meant to play Kang. So amazing and so hot. Okay. Jonathan Majors' Kang is charismatic, intense baddie, and visually awesome, but the threat he represents is too abstract. That's interesting. What about MODOK? Oh god, MODOK was insane. MODOK brings all the ridiculous humour. Does anyone else stand out? Michelle Pfeiffer. That's a huge surprise to me. I know the main storyline is them going back to where she lived for so many years. So that's going to be really interesting to see. How are the two post-credit scenes? Two cool post-credit scenes. Both are very important and good. Every single post-credit scene is important. Every single one. Ever since we've had some crappy ones. Do you remember that one in Captain Marvel when the cat threw up the Tesseract? That was probably the craziest post-credit, end-credit scene I've ever seen. Will it leave us hopeful for the MCU's future? I guess this is going more into the future. The hints of what's to come with Kang have me mostly intrigued. Can't wait to see more from Kang. There's so much new that locked me back into the MCU. Get excited. Da, 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 da. So, again, I still think it's mixed. I do. I think this is a mixed film. What's really interesting, I was talking to someone about this the other day, is that Kevin Feige stated before the release of WandaVision that the Disney Plus shows, if you come into the Marvel Universe watching the Disney Plus shows first, you don't need to know what's happened in the films. Like, you can just watch them, you know. And vice versa. If you watch the films and you don't watch the Disney Plus shows, don't worry. You don't need to watch the Disney Plus shows to understand what's going on in the film. That was a lie. That was a complete lie. It is untrue as hell. WandaVision has huge effects on Doctor Strange. Because if you watch Endgame to Doctor Strange, from the last time we saw Wanda to the latest time we saw her, she's completely changed as a character. She is completely changed. Her viewpoint is completely different. I think it's a lie. And it's the same with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Is Kang, well, a variant of Kang in He Who Remains was revealed in Loki. And what that did is explain the multiverse to us. And then you have Spider-Man No Way Home, which, to be honest, explained the multiverse very well with Doctor Strange, with his magic and everything. So it wasn't really needed for that. But in terms of He Who Remains, I'm basically hoping to go into this film. And if I watch it and I go, well, right, if this was my first time meeting Kang, or this version, I don't think it's the actual Kang, by the way. If I meet this version of Kang, will I understand his motives through this film, or do I have to know what happened in Loki? It's going to be confusing. It really is. I'm really looking forward to Jonathan Majors being the new big bad of the MCU, basically. And that is what it's all leading to. They've confirmed this. That's what it's all leading to. So yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania coming out Friday. I would definitely be going to see it. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it more than I was, just a week ago. Do you know what I mean? But the trailers, again, it just seems like such a dark film. I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of nervous about it. Anyway, that has been the first episode of Geek Mail. I'm sorry it hasn't been as energetic as it should be, as different as it should be, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to find my feet with this channel. I really want to grow it. I want to try new things all the time, not just always do live streams, but also do cut down clips, quick videos and everything, but also I want to do videos on my channel at the same time, but we'll sort something out. I've been really happy with this first episode, so thank you to everyone that's been joining in. We've done nearly an hour now on this show, and I promise on next Saturdays or Fridays, not next Saturdays, I'm not here. Maybe Friday. We'll do it every other 2 weeks. Anyway, I don't know the schedule yet, but this is just a pilot episode, basically, to see how it goes. Might never do live streams again. Never know. But I have really enjoyed it, I have to admit. But thank you for everyone for watching. It's been good to talk about the news. In terms of The Flash, very much look forward to the trailer on Sunday. If you're from the UK, that'll be at midnight. It's been confirmed for about 7 p.m. ET, I think it was, EST. And that's about midnight here. So stay up if you want to record your reactions and get out there. But yeah, no, it's been a good stream. Looking forward to making more content through Geek Mail. Hopefully the next episode we do, the live stream and any other videos, will be on the actual YouTube channel. But to put it on this one was great. I've really enjoyed it. And look out for my other videos on this channel that you're watching now. That's just Joe, where I basically keep you up to date with stuff all the time. All the latest news. Look, I'm live now. But yeah, you can watch a lot of my videos here. Here. This is where I talked about the poster, Bale back as Batman. Make sure you go and like the videos, comment. Make sure you subscribe, for goodness sake. Helps me out. But no, seriously, I appreciate all the love and the subscriptions. We've hit 209 subscribers. Didn't expect that at the beginning of February, to be honest. Did my 200 sub special announcing this show. But yeah, like I said, hoping to get a few guests on. I've met some great people through YouTube, and I think we could really build a good partnership, do this show together. I don't really want to do this show solo all the time. It's really good when you bounce off someone and talk to someone, so hopefully we could get something sorted like that. But yeah, been a fantastic show. I'm looking forward to next week's news. That's the wonderful thing about these films and TVs and video games and all this. It's a very exciting time to be a fan of these projects and everything. It's very exciting times to be a Batman fan. Star Wars, I think we might be getting an announcement soon. If you don't know, I'll be going to Star Wars Celebration very, very soon in April, where I do think they're going to announce some new Star Wars films. It's time to get back in the Star Wars films. It's time for more Star Wars films. But remember to follow Geek Mail's main YouTube channel. You can go to @GeekMail. YouTube.com/@GeekMail. Obviously nothing that, but if you go and subscribe, help me out so much. You'll get updates on when we'll be doing our next live stream or next video, whatever we do. But I'm really hoping to have some guests on next time. And it'll be fun. But I've had a really fun time doing this first episode. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. And until the next time I see you, and I'll let you know when that is, bye-bye.